This is Kevin Reitzel, Bravo Leader. You are listening to Radio Free Decipher.
Hey, welcome to Radio Free Decipher. This is Kendrick Summers standing in for Kyle Hoyer and Evan Lorenz. They are both happily on their way to their holiday vacations, and I'm the guest host this week. Welcome, everybody, and I've also got somebody here with me, Sean Smallman. How you doing, Sean?
Doing good, Kendrick, and how is everyone out there?
All right, it's nice to have you here. I see somebody walking around the hallways. We might get Kevin Reitzel to drop in with us. So, here he is. Kevin, how's it going, bud?
Oh, it's doing great.
You're real busy today, I know.
Yes, I have. Been real busy. Also fighting a little bit of flu bug that everyone's got.
That is definitely going around here, so we're going to have to take good care of ourselves so we can answer all your questions through the holiday. To start off, we have got a ton of information for you guys. Those of you that are tuning in to pull Radio Free down are going to have a blast this weekend telling everybody what you've heard. I guess first things first, we want to start off and let you know that we've got a couple of release dates to give out to you. The release date for Star Wars CCG's Reflections Expanding the Galaxy has been slated for January 10th. So check that out in your local retailer. Get that Christmas money, and they should be ready to handle the requests. In addition, the Enhanced Battle of Naboo for the Young Jedi collectible card game is going to have a street date of January 17th. So the following week, you're going to be able to get your Enhanced Battle of Naboo. And for those of you that are indeed tuning in, we've got some special spoilers for you. And we're going to pass that around and let each of us kind of give you some tidbits and info. Now, we are posting cards from all of our sets periodically on the website, but the spoilers that you hear here, you're not going to be able to see on the web for some time. So if you do download this information, you want to make sure you keep it, because this is going to be your source for accuracy when everybody goes, So, here we go. We're going to bring up a couple of topics. The first one that we'd like to talk about is Jedi Knights, and we've all done some digging and hopefully brought you some good juicy info. As far as Jedi Knights is concerned, I want to give you a little bit of an update on the League kits. We're coming along nicely on those, getting retailers calling us, telling us that their players and a number of other people are telling them about the Jedi Knights Leagues and they want to get involved. That's great news for us. Keep telling your retailers that you want them to be involved in that. They basically get on the list with us, and as we get information about the Jedi Knights League, we get it back to them so that they're prepared for you guys. Also, if you go to them telling them that you want to get your Luke Skywalker card, which is the free card you get for signing up in the league, and they look at you like you got 4 heads, you want to get them to give us a call at Decipher, and you can actually have them call me directly. Tell them to call Kendrick Summers at Decipher, and I can put them on the list and get them informed so they can make sure to have that Luke Skywalker card for you when the league is ready to roll.
Kendrick, is there a phone number that they should give that retailer?
Yeah, they can. The retailers will probably have ways to contact Decipher, but if they need to reach me, they can dial my direct number at 757-664-1143, and you guys can usually reach me that way. I'll also be here through the holidays. Taking a brief amount of time off just before the New Year's. If they call and leave a voicemail, I'll be sure to get back to them on that and get them hooked up into the league. And now we move on into some juicy tidbits about gameplay. What I've got here in front of me is some of the sites and planet locations for Jedi Knights. And to give you a little bit of a heads up on the gameplay and the philosophy behind these cards, basically what happens is that 2 players or 4 players even sit down and play a game against each other successively at locations put into play by opposite players. So, for instance, players would compete at these locations, and whoever wins the most of those locations has the best advantage at the end of the game for the final battle. But what I want to tell you is that the look on these cards is just right on, and there are a couple of these locations that everybody immediately will recognize if they're Star Wars CCG players. But the cool thing is that on a few of these cards, it's kind of like it's the old image with a little bit of a twist, and one of the images that I'm looking at is the Cloud City Carbon Freezing Chamber, and that's one of my favorites just because of the color mix on it. And in your mind, if you think of the Carbon Freezing Chamber from the Star Wars CCG, you have that image of the wires hanging down from the ceiling, and the reds and the blues and the yellows, and it's kind of ominous looking. Well, that's kind of what we got here, but the cool thing is we got a bunch of stormtroopers dotting the landscape, you know, like they're waiting for Han Solo to come trotting in. So the looks of these cards is just really great, and it's like a twist on an old theme. They're beautiful, to say the least. And one of the other cool things I wanted to say about them was that what happens is when one player puts a location into play, the other player takes their version of that location and flips it over so that they have the representation of not only the site, but the planet system that that site comes from. So in your mind, if you imagine you're sitting across from your opponent at the table, and there's two locations in play for the current place where all your characters are. There is one site and the planet system sitting next to it. So these cards actually serve a dual purpose. And let me tell you that the backs of these site cards, which are actually the planet systems, look just as beautiful. And it's again, it's a new twist on an old theme. Our guys have really outdone themselves on these cards. So there's your little Jedi Knights tidbit. I know that it's not deep, in-depth gameplay, but that comes later. We just wanted to give you a little something to chew on for the week. Or maybe for the next couple of weeks. Look for more Jedi Knights info as we move through the holidays. Francis has put a lot of work into getting a schedule for the web team to post Jedi Knights info while he is even on vacation. And Francis is actually out of the country through the holidays, so we'll see him when he returns, and he'll get back to business and get you guys your daily doses of Jedi Knights. So there we go for Jedi Knights. Let's go ahead and move on to where are we going to go, Sean?
How about to Star Wars?
Star Wars Reflections 2. So we got a street date of the 10th of January. I'm really excited about that. And actually, I'll tell you guys, we usually when a set releases, we get pre-release product, and we had the benefit of actually seeing a vacuum-packed display box of Reflections.
I have to say, Kendrick, that was beautiful.
That was the coolest
That was
thing.
music, wasn't it, Sean?
It absolutely is stunning.
We had to fight each other to keep from ripping this thing open and pulling the the literature cards out of there, and it was great. So it'll be exciting to see those display boxes up on the shelves, and I think everybody's really excited to be grabbing the literature cards out of there, in addition to the foils and the combo cards. Great gameplay cards.
I think we're still wondering what the foil box topper is going to be in that box.
Yeah, there is a case sitting upstairs, and I forgot to go look at that foiled Japanese Vader. I think I'm going to go upstairs before I leave today and take a look at that.
Me too, absolutely. When I first looked at that box, what I really noticed was that even though we couldn't open up the packs, just the artwork on the box exterior was so stunning and graphic, and new that it was blowing me away.
Absolutely. The art department takes their time to get the display boxes right, and they've outdone themselves here on Reflections 2.
Makes you just so that you can't even wait to see the cards on the inside.
Well, maybe if we act nice and do all of our homework, maybe we'll get to open a few packs here before the release date. So keep your fingers crossed. Just a word of note for those of you who visit the website daily, you should expect to see the Reflections 2 Expanding the Galaxy rules addendum that you find in each display box of Reflections 2 posted on our website tomorrow. And basically what you can expect to find there is kind of an overview of all the expanded universe characters that you can expect to see inside the Reflections packs. And if you haven't read the novels that basically these characters were pulled from, these little blurbs kind of give you an overview of each of those characters. You can read about Grand Admiral Thrawn and Guri and Prince Shizor and all the people that you're gonna be pulling out of those packs, just to get a little background on them. Aside from the whopping gameplay that you find when you pull them out of the pack, so you can talk about them a little bit.
Yeah, we got some great characters that are coming out in this set, and for those of you that aren't familiar with the novels, please take time to read these books. They are great.
Yep, absolutely. And what we're going to try and do through the course of the year, if we can convince them to, is get Timothy Zahn and Michael Stackpole, who were the authors for many of these characters, to actually sign cards from the set. So if you know a little bit more about the cards that you find in Reflections 2, that'll impress them that much more. So those of you that have read the novels, enjoy the rules addendum, and what you're probably going to be focusing on is the rules for the combo cards and combo card examples. Mostly intuitive stuff, but a little bit of explaining and laying down some ground rules for those. So check that out tomorrow. It's an interesting sheet. It's a one-pager, not too big, not too beefy, enough to kind of chew through the weekend with. So that is what you will see for Reflections 2. And now, with great pleasure, I want to spoil a card for you that you're not going to see on the web for quite a while. It's one of my favorite cards.
Maybe Kevin would want to tell them what it is.
Yeah, go ahead, Kevin.
Oh,
Give him the journal. As a matter of fact, Kevin, I'll let you do it. This is pretty much my favorite card from the set.
This is sweet. All right, guys.
Wow.
As some of you may have seen a little teaser in Scry, you saw that we had Grand Admiral Thrawn, and we're going to go ahead and tease that to you right now and share that with you guys. First off, let's go ahead and give you his power and ability. Grand Admiral Thrawn is a Power 2, Ability 4. He's Force sensitive. He has a deploy of 4 and a forfeit of 7. He is a pilot as well as a warrior. The lore, before I give you his game text, I'll give you his lore, says, the last remaining Grand Admiral found legendary katana fleet of missing dreadnoughts, military genius, master of unorthodox tactics, passionate collector of art, and he's a leader. Man, ooh, that gives me the chills. Alright, here we go for the game text that you guys have all been waiting for. Adds 3 to power of any starship he pilots. When piloting a Star Destroyer in battle, adds 1 battle destiny. Yes!
Oh, man.
While no other Admiral and no Star Cruiser on table, your Admiral's orders just placed in use pile from table may be taken into hand instead.
Yeah, that's right on. So those of you that are into doing the Admiral's Orders gig in your TIE decks or maybe in your X-Wing Swarm decks or what have you, well, obviously you're not going to do it in your X-Wing Swarm decks, but you have the experience of playing Admiral's Orders and you know what their strength is. This guy really hooks those Admiral's Orders into big-time play.
And, of course, he does have the Imperial symbol, and he is a Destiny of 1.
Good character.
I could see somebody who's playing one of the decks where they use the Admiral Orders to continually play a combat vehicle every turn down onto a planet.
Sure.
And if that gets removed or sent to their use pile, they just pop it back into hand and use it again when they need it.
Yep.
He is the Mac Daddy for that.
Really, really strong card. And basically what that text is saying is that if Akbar or no Mon Calamari cruisers or any of the other cruisers that the light side has are on the table, then he gets his loop-de-loop. But the big thing for Thrawn really is when he's sitting on the bridge of the Chimera or whatever Star Destroyer you got, he gets an extra destiny. That's just huge.
This image is beautiful. Look at them red beady eyes, man. That white Grand Admiral Thrawn outfit. How cool is that, man?
Yep. So now every time all of you look at the Admiral Thrawn picture in the Scry magazine, now you know the game text that follows it and maybe why we hit it in the first place. But that being my favorite card from the Expanded Universe set, and I had to sneak that one in there for you all. So we have
to thank Kendrick for that, right, Sean?
Absolutely.
Right on. Yeah, don't
give props to him.
Don't expect to see that one on the website anytime soon, but expect it eventually. Let's go ahead and move on through Reflections 2 to Young Jedi. And earlier in the broadcast, I told you that the release date was the 17th of January for Enhanced Battle of Naboo. The guys are well on their way through that and on to other yummy projects for Young Jedi. And as far as I know, the web team has got a schedule of spoiling those cards all the way through the release date, actually.
Yeah, we got a date here up until the 12th, actually. We'll be releasing the images and the text as well.
Great. And Kevin is going to be doing his thing through that time, so you can expect to get updates on all of the cards. However, I dropped a couple of dimes and pulled one of those cards out of its rotation so that we could spoil it for you here.
Come on, Kendrick, you can do this one. This one's all you.
Well, you know what? Okay, I'll go ahead and spoil it because this is my favorite one of the set as well. We are going to give up the ghost on Obi-Wan Kenobi, and maybe the coolest thing about his card, other than the gameplay, is this ugly look he's got on his face. All of our Obi-Wans to this point are just kind of, chilling,
pretty boy,
Jedi,
I'm the student, I'm the apprentice.
Well, this one looks about taken at the point where he breaks Darth Maul's lightsaber in half, so he's got like his teeth gritted and he's all angry looking or something like that. But okay, so we're looking at a wild card here, obviously, and it's a 6 white dot wild card with a 6 destiny, just like all the other wild cards. He is a 4 deploy character, folks, and if nothing else, that's huge all by itself.
That's pretty cheap for Obi.
He's a 5 power with one power bonus at each of the 3 Naboo locations, which is pretty standard for Obi-Wan. He's got a damage of 5, which is not bad. He can hold out in a duel pretty well, but his game text is the thing that kicks butt, so you'll want to use this guy in battles. It says that, well, actually, if he... let me give you the game text and then we can talk about it. It says that he adds 2 to the damage of each character he defeats, which is really strong. So I'm imagining that would even apply in the case of a duel. So after that character is defeated, you got to pay that much more, or in an individual fight during a battle. So this is the PO'd Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is going to be one of the good wild cards from the set. So really excited about that. And there's another tidbit for you. You can expect to see Obi-Wan up on the website in the near future. I won't give you the exact time, but keep checking weekly for your enhanced Battle and Naboo updates, and make your decisions on the 17th of January.
Yeah, also I wanted to remind you guys, I'm going to be on the Young Jedi BBS boards, and I will also give away the text version of 2 more. We're going to give away Panaka and Sidious, so check out the boards Friday today.
Yep. What would be really cool is if we could do Radio Free Decipher with, like, intermittent JPEGs, so you download this radio file and then all of a sudden the JPEG flashes up on, a download flashes onto your desktop and you can take a look at it as we're talking. But
we're going to have TV Free Decipher next?
Right, it'll be TiVo Decipher or something like
Actually,
that.
I may make a correction. I'm actually going to be on the Young Jedi gameplay BBS board, so
there you go.
Make sure you guys check that out.
Yep, Kevin Reitz will be, what he said. All right, well, there we go with Young Jedi. Let's move on to Star Trek, and we got a couple of things for you guys, a couple of juicy tidbits, and even some information about Voyager. But let's go ahead and chat about Mirror Mirror, since that's our current environment. Sean, got any info for us about Mirror Mirror?
Well, I know that a lot of players have started incorporating Mirror Mirror into their tournament decks. In fact, one card in particular seems to be a rather hot card right now, and that is the Mirror Tarek Noor. And we're starting to see that crop up in a lot of decks. But what I've noticed is really fantastic about this set for any deck is just the very strong dilemmas that are cropping up. And one that I saw right off the bat, because it was a dual dilemma for both space and planets, was Kelvin's Show of Force, because it allows me to choose 2 of my opponent's most critical personnel, and then one of them is going to be randomly killed. That's there's no way to escape and get around that, so it's a very powerful dilemma. But even looking at some of the other ones that are specifically related to planet or space, they tend to even be more powerful. So this expansion is really starting to make a strong effect in the tournament scene.
Yeah, so in order to avoid that old Kelvin Show of Force, just make sure you've got an all-Android deck. Because those are really, really strong out here. Maybe not, but, anyway.
And they're getting a little less strong now also with some anti-cards for those. In fact, Mirror Mirror is so exciting. We've just announced to our ambassador product champions that we're going to be having a closed environment tournament system based solely on the Mirror Mirror expansion. It's going to be open to using other cards, but all the players have to build a deck based on one of the 2 pseudo-semi-affiliations that are found in that expansion, either the Terran Empire or the Klingon-Cardassian Alliance.
Very cool.
Yeah, that is good news.
And that means that there will be special, unique prizes, some exclusive foil cards to these tournaments.
Very much like the Death Star 2 closed environment.
Very much
special foils specifically for those tournaments. That's good. Yep. I guess maybe it sounds a little bit like we're just hearing this for the first time, but I think we're just kind of backing Sean up that it is very good for the tournament environment. Mirror Mirror is a good place to do specific decks, and you can get pretty diverse with those. So as far as Mirror Mirror goes, chase the guy with the goatee, yeah, sure, but Mirror Tarek Noor, I think, is one of those cards you want to trade for and stash, because ore processing is back, baby. Good. So we got a report in the field from Evan Lawrence, too, and he pretty much backs you up, Sean. He says that the new affiliations are seeing a lot of gameplay in tournaments. People aren't afraid to overhaul their decks and play these things. So I'm really glad to hear that all of the cards are seeing gameplay. It's something that I've tried to communicate to the community for a long time. Play with all the cards. Don't pick one or two and put them in your old deck. Get gutsy and get out there and try something new. So that's great.
That's right, and this will definitely give our Star Trek CCG fans something to last for quite a while, up until the very next expansion, which I believe you have some information about.
Indeed, and I guess that would be Voyager, wouldn't it? While we were just chatting about him a second ago, just want to shout out to Evan and say happy holidays to you out there. Maybe you're listening to this post to hear what we have to say about Voyager, and congratulations to Kate DeStefan as well for Sean's program for choosing Volunteer of the Year, I believe, for the Star Trek CCG. So.
Yep, she is the Ambassador of the Year.
Yep,
voted on by her fellow ambassadors.
Yep, that's good, and she gets cookies and candy.
No, we're gonna be sending her an uncut sheet of Star Trek.
Oh, right on.
Very
that's
cool.
A good thing. Yeah, good for you, Kate.
Congratulations.
Well, here we go. Let's talk about Voyager. We are some time away from the release of the set, but I think it's about time to start talking about the philosophy of Voyager and what it means. I know that everybody out there has probably got a lot of ideas about what they'd like to see, what they don't want to see. Do you want to see salamanders? Do you want to see, what do you want to see in Voyager? And just a couple of quick pieces of info. I don't want to make things too deep here, but it'll certainly give you some direction to think about.
I think Evan will love that salamanders quote.
Yeah. No, it really happened. So Voyager will indeed be a larger set, conducive to a standalone environment. So expect something a little bit more than you've seen. Tribbles notwithstanding, expect something a little more than you've seen over the past few expansions. We want Voyager to be usable in the current tournament environment, which means good draw cards and probably even multi-card combos and things like that for the existing players. So look, if you've got an Alliance deck or an Empire deck that is kicking butt right now, expect to get cards in Voyager that you can use in those decks. That shouldn't be a problem. But we also want to make sure that this set is somewhat of an entry point for newer players. It's something that we understand is a dire need. We always want to make it usable for people just getting into the game to feel like they have a chance in the tournament environment, at the local shop, and in casual play. So you can really expect to see the best of both worlds in that sense.
That's right. It's kind of like a couple years ago we released the First Contact expansion, and that really changed the gameplay and brought a lot of excitement to the game. It was not a fully large standalone size set, although it did have some new affiliation and new concepts to them. However, we followed that up with Deep Space Nine, which was standalone, and it was designed so that people could jump in.
Sure.
And I think that Voyager is going to actually take both of those concepts and blend them together into a large, fully standalone, if you like, or incorporate with your previous decks. It's got that, while at the same time bringing about the same kind of excitement and changes that First Contact did.
Yep.
Oh, that was an exciting time.
Indeed, it was.
Looking forward to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
First Contact sold out, and that's what made Deep Space Nine rock so hard. So we need to get you all out there to make sure Mirror Mirror sells out, so that Voyager will rock just as hard. So.
I remember doing those First Contact demo tours. Those were great.
Yeah. Yep. Indeed. I've still seen a couple of those stickers lying around.
And the shirts.
I've been assimilated, right? So there we go. Viable in current tournament play and a good entry point for new players. Also, and I think maybe this is even bigger for people that know about the current Star Trek environment and know about our recent few products, is that one of the big requests we've got is that our community wants to see more warp speed stuff, and that's really good to us, because warp speed not only adds a challenging twist to the existing players, but warp speed is also a good entry level. And let me tell you, if you're demoing Star Trek, something that's a little bit neater and tidier and quicker is not a bad thing. So warp speed has good points to it from all points of view, and the community wants to see more warp speed stuff, and I think we can expect Voyager to be somewhat of a flagship for that, for the warp speed tournament environment.
That's right. We were looking at actually trying to incorporate a constructed format version of warp speed tournaments right away after the popularity grew, but unfortunately the way it's designed doesn't really work with everything beforehand without having some powerful combinations get out of hand in the warp speed
Indeed.
tournament. So this Voyager set's going to definitely address that whole issue and rock their world.
Yep. So you think Voyager, you want to think things like warp speed and entry point, and that's a good thing for Voyager. So we're going to help those salamanders out a little bit with some kick-butt gameplay.
Yeah, kudos for the PD guys and everyone else involved with that Warp Speed format. It's great, a lot of fun.
Yep, and best of luck to them as well. Tim, Bill, Sandy, Evan, all you guys work hard on that. It's going to be a great set.
Yep, we're looking forward to it.
Yep. So there you go for Star Trek, with the exception of one last thing. We had one of our volunteers send in some information about 24 hours of Trek from noon on the 31st of December to noon on the 1st of January. Jeremy Commodore is setting up, all-you-can-eat Star Trek, and that's going to be happening in Fremont, California at Scenario Game and Hobby. Check the website. There's even a newsflash story about 24 hours of Trek Minicon. Tells you where, when, phone number, fees, formats, details for each tournament. So go check it out. And I heard a rumor that Bruce Umeni may even be stopping by. So if you want to see what our tournament coordinator looks like and what he's all about and whether he's a good Star Trek player or not, go down there and have a game with him.
Yep, he may not look like Santa, but he'll be coming in like Santa probably.
All right, on that.
bringing lots of toys, hopefully.
Right, sure.
You go, Bruce.
So good luck there, Bruce, and kudos to you, Jeremy, for setting that up. I understand that we've had some other volunteers working on things like this. We'd love to hear about it. We'd love to post them, and we'd love to comment about them on RFD when we do hear about them.
That's right. We at the same time we had a few of other product champions get together and plan some of these events in Ohio and Northern California and a few other locations. We just had a few take place over in Europe, but when we get a nice story like that submitted to the website, it's really nice to be able to show off the things that they're doing.
Sure, it's kind of like we can't not post that kind of info just because it's so cool. Well, that's a lot of info to chew on through the holiday there, and while we would have loved to have dropped those Reflections 2 displays under your tree, we're going to have to deal with it being released on the 10th. But this next piece of info I think is big, and it relates to tournaments and our tournament system and things that we plan on doing in 2001. So listen carefully and remember to save this download. Also, you'll need to check the website for an article that gives much more detail to these points about the system changes, so that you can take this information into your community and get everybody energized. One of the things that I want to start out with is saying that we've had lots of requests from players and tournament directors that they want to be able to participate in their own tournaments, and what we've decided is that, you know what, that's not such a bad thing. And while we still need to come up with some parameters that keep the abuse level down and allow all other tournament players to feel as though they're still in a safe environment when their tournament director's playing, we do want to say that in 2001, tournament directors will indeed be playing in their own tournaments if they choose to do that. As I said before, there will be some rules to that, maybe tournament size and other restrictions that you'll have to follow with things like game time and other such rules, but hooray to you guys for being able to run these events for your players and still playing them and enjoying them. So that's really good news for our tournament environment.
That is great news. That also really helped the smaller tournaments as well.
Indeed, you have 7 players, boom, you're playing, and it's a sanctioned event. So that's good for those areas that are small and struggling. In addition to the fact that the tournament directors work so hard that they deserve a break. They can play the game every now and then. So here we go, system changes. Basically what I'm talking about is ratings formats. Obviously we are not going to touch the lifetime rating. Those of you who have been playing for 3, 4, 5 years now don't want to see your rating crumble into nothing and change into something else. So we're keeping that lifetime rating up there. We think that that's a lot of work that you guys have put into that system. We don't want to mess with that. One of the things that we are doing is we're going to start looking at a year-to-date rating, and basically what that means is January 1, your year-to-date rating is now scratch, and every tournament that you play in that affects your standard rating is going to affect this year-to-date rating. Expect some more details about that, but now people are going to carry around the title of 2001 ratings champion, and 2002 ratings champion. So that's another twist we want to put on the rating system. Ramping up, we are going to open up closed environment ratings for Star Wars and Star Trek. We will indeed open closed environment rating for YJ, although we may not use that right away, but expect that to come as well. And basically what we mean by closed environment ratings is for all of you who Want to play in the Death Star 2 Closed Environment Tournament Series, but don't want to affect your lifetime rating? Well, you got no excuse now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep, so ratings are at scratch, and people can scrap to be the Closed Environment champion now. So for Star Trek, the Closed Environment will probably start out with Mirror Mirror. So expect to see details about those two things, but that's a huge request that we've had from the community, and I think we're in a position where we're ready to cave in on that, because you know what, it's a good suggestion. So Closed Environment ratings, here we go. And lastly, what we want to do each calendar year, starting in January, obviously ending at the end of December, is break the year into segments, basically 4-month segments that give you what we are internally referring to as a sprint, basically a period of time with which you can play in tournaments and build up a rating until the end of that 4-month period, and lots of cool things get to happen after that. One of the things that we're going to do for our community is basically have a Wall of Fame section. If you want to get really cheesy about it, imagine the the Walmart with the Employee of the Month up on the wall and the little plaque with the
That's right.
So, for, let's say, for example, 2001, in the first 4-month segment, Joe Jones from, somewhere in Kentucky.
Oh, I know that guy.
Is the ratings champion for the Star Wars CCG. He gets his name up on our website permanently for that first 4-month segment in 2001, and it stays there forever. So that's something that we want to do for you guys, in addition to some other things that we're going to do for these 3 segments each year that I think are going to be pretty cool. And just to let a little bit of advance info slip, I think we want to run some tournaments, some culmination tournaments for these things, and the top-rated players after each segment get invited to this tournament. And if you win these tournaments, or you're in the top echelon of these tournaments after they're run, then we're looking at giving you an invite to the next one. So you call that what you will, but we're calling them, right now, they are segmented tournaments for 2001 or sprints for 2001. Whatever they are, it's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully that'll inspire some aggressive tournament play through those segments. That's a big deal to our tournament system. You should expect, again, to see information up on our website detailing these new ratings formats, so that you have a clear understanding of what they are. Maybe as early as next week, but expect all of these things to implement in 2001. And in addition, what this means is that your ratings, when you look at your rating on our website, you're basically going to have that kind of illustrated for you with all of your ratings categories. So when you go check your rating, Joe Jones, not only are you going to see your lifetime rating, but you're also going to see your closed environment rating, and you're going to see your 2001 rating, and you're going to see your segmented rating for the year, for the calendar year. So hopefully we're going to inject some energy into the rating system itself and give you guys lots of different avenues of gameplay. So there you go. The tournaments, I'm standing in for Bruce Umeni. You guys have questions, you can certainly email me about that specific topic, but the article going up on the website is going to give you the most information. Let's give Bruce a break while he's away playing at Jeremy Commodore's tournament. Get with me until after the holiday, and then you can start going to Bruce on those. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool about tournaments.
That's a lot of stuff to chew, man.
Yep.
Good job.
I'm excited about that. A couple more things real briefly. I remembered what I wanted to tell you about Jedi Knights. Go check out your local retailer this weekend. We've got a couple of cards, hopefully, that are going to be on the doorstep for you to check out. And if you haven't heard the word stereographic or stereoscopic related to the Jedi Knights trading card game, you will understand what we're talking about this weekend. So go have a look. It's possible that they may have some info. If your retailer is a big proponent of Decipher's games, and you've got volunteers in your area, go check out the retailer. They may have a special surprise for you there.
Very cool.
Yep, Jedi Knights. The last thing that we want to talk about, Kevin, unless you got any other things you wanted to add to any of the previous topics.
No, you got it all going, man.
All right. Well, let's talk about foil redemption real briefly before we close up. Most of you know about the whole turn-in packs of Death Star or turn-in packs of Trouble with Tribbles and you get a cool foil. Well, I just want to make sure that everybody has a very clear understanding of what that program is. There is a story about it on our website under the news flash, and it's probably a few days old at this point, so you might need to drop back a page or two, but basically the headline is Attention Gamers and Collectors, Free Foil Cards and Uncut Sheets. This is indeed a limited time pack redemption promotion, so look at the details, but I want to focus on a couple of those real briefly. The Death Star 2 is send us 36 wrappers and get a You Are Beaten foil card. Star Wars players, you know what this card is. This card rocks, and it looks good in foil too. You know, the reality is that a lot of you guys bought Death Star a long time ago, and it seems crazy to you to have to go back and get more. But basically, what I want to say is, if that's a problem, then let's look at a little creativity here. If you are still interested in pursuing this foil, then maybe a booster draft tournament at your local retailer where you collect the packs at the end, send them in to us, and now you got a cool prize for the next tournament. If that's a good way to help the community at your local retailer, then by all means engage. And you know, a booster draft is I guess, what does that come to per person at 1/6 of the pack redemption? So that's not too bad, and it sets you up for a really good prize for the next tournament. So 36 packs of Death Star, 36 empty wrappers of Death Star 2, and 30 empty wrappers of the Trouble with Tribbles. The Tribbles wrappers will get you the Soong type Android foil, another cool one. And hey, look, if that's what it takes, do another one of those sealed deck tournaments, collect the wrappers, and you got another good foil for the next tournament. Or, you know, by some hook or crook, if you've actually saved those packs, get them in there. The current end date for this promotion is the 15th of January. That's not too far away. I just talked to our sales director earlier this afternoon, telling them to extend the program. But, you know, it's a limited time offer, meaning that while supplies last, we will do this. If they run out, they run out. But if we have the opportunity to extend it, then we would certainly do that, and we'll keep you informed about that.
Get those packs in quick.
Yep. If you have read this article, then you know all about the Young Jedi foil redemption cards and uncut sheet and Shmi card, all of that stuff. Check it out on the website. All the point values are posted. We've been getting gobs of these things in on a daily basis. We've had to pull them out of the front foyer and put them up in a lobby that we have on the first floor, which is our art department, so that we can go through them and get them, break them down into more manageable envelopes.
I've actually seen our customer service representative, Jennifer Ketterman, pulling in a huge bag,
a garbage
bag full of these things.
Yeah, I saw that.
I kid you not. It is an enormous response. It's great.
Yeah, this must have been somebody that was going for the uncut sheet. So it's a lot of points. 5,000 Young Jedi points is a lot of points.
Yeah, I know a lot of you guys out there have a lot of saved Young Jedi points for one reason or another. So use them up now.
Yep, we told you to hold on to them when you started asking us what's coming next. So hopefully you did that, and now you're having a heyday with them. Personally, I think the Shmi card is the coolest one out of those. Even though she's not a foil, she's unique gameplay, and she just rocks. She does well.
That card's one of my all-time favorites.
Yep, it's cool. Pretty simple card.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So there you go. There is the foil redemption program, and as always, we reserve the right to use those foil cards in future promotions, but you can always expect to see these cards coming in some semblance of a promotion from Decipher, and we'll always inform you about it too. So check the website, read the article, and get informed. Well, I tell you, I think that's about it. This is a long radio-free Decipher, so download it in bits, do what you like, record what you like, and throw away the rest. But in the end, I guess it comes down to have a happy holiday, and we'll see you next time around. Kevin, thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks a lot, Kendrick, and I want to wish all you guys a happy holidays. Enjoy.